In Hollywood's many sci-fi cinema universes, ordinary people are often endowed by crazy scientists or even mere happenstance with superhuman abilities. Such is the stuff of fantasy and fiction, but now in real life, scientists are doing the same with animals. These days, geneticists seem to be limited only by their imaginations. Would you like a glowing domestic house cat? It's yours! How about a goat crossed with a spider? You can have that too, and instead of milk, the female goat spider of this new species produces spiderweb silk in its mammaries. And yes, that means boobs. Some animals are able to mutate into something new all on their lonesome, without any special outside intervention. Among sharks, this is quite common, especially in recent decades, where an anomalous number of these marine predators have been born with two heads. And this has happened all over the world. It's fun to imagine what might happen to prey that fall into these double sets of jaws. Scientists have been racking their brains trying to explain this record number of shark mutants in recent history. Some believe the cause is pollution, while others blame excessive shark love. Shark species that are in danger of extinction are compelled to reproduce more actively and aggressively in order not to be tossed into the dustbin of history. And the more offspring they have, the more often there are various genetic abnormalities. It might be that in the future the number and variety of mutations will increase, and that we will be able to observe other additional organs appear on these giant killer fish, maybe extra fins, for example. Such an enhanced and upgraded shark is likely to be more maneuverable, so it'll be easier for it to catch up with, for example, a fleeing swimmer. And if the fins manage to transform into fingers, like when some of our earliest ancestors emerged from the seas and moved onto solid ground, then this multi-toothed, omnivorous fish will be able to more creatively track down its prey before it is consumed. Natural genetic mutations and genetically modified animals are certainly fascinating, but even without these oddities, normal, everyday nature has more than enough supervillains and superheroes to offer. For example, when traveling around North America, one might stumble across something that strongly resembles the mythical monster Cthulhu. This frightening nightmare creature has 22 tentacles that form a kind of undulating star-like shape on its face. But perhaps this is where the similarities end between what is known as the star-nosed mole and H.P. Lovecraft's infamous monster. This is because the diameter of the star of tentacles on the head of this terrifying beast is only about a centimeter, no more than that of the head of a nail. Nonetheless, this remarkable mini organ allows the star-nosed mole to investigate more than a dozen objects per second. Our eyes cannot even follow the ultra-fast movements of these nimble tentacles. So their workings are studied with the use of high-speed video cameras. And believe me, not even a single solitary victim, that includes a variety of bugs, larvae, and worms, ever escapes from the clutches of this voracious animal and its star of death. And this predatory mole can even subdue its victims underwater, as it has also evolved scaly paws and a fluffy, water-repellent tail to help it swim. This next individual, which spends all of its time underwater, looks so creepy and at the same time so comical that one would be hard-pressed to find anything like it anywhere else in the world, except possibly in a movie. I'm talking about something called the short-nosed batfish. This fish resembles something like a female goblin who has just had her lips painted with bright red lipstick. Others say it resembles the face of a blood-sucking monster that never wipes away the blood of its victims. In reality, the batfish really is quite bloodthirsty, or at least voracious. It has a length of about 30 centimeters, that's about 1 foot, with a body that is flat like that of a flounder. The batfish waddles tirelessly across the seabed on its ventral fin, catching crustaceans and various small fry. Prey are lured by a unique construction that protrudes from the head of the batfish, a kind of retractable fishing rod equipped with odoriferous bait. The red lips, according to biologists, help the batfish to draw the attention of members of the opposite sex. This next creature, the hairy frog, is covered with hair-like shoots of skin and doesn't waste time with sluggish and lethargic fishing techniques. The hairy frog prefers a more brutal form of interaction. Like with the character Wolverine in the X-Men films, at the moment of attack, the sharp ends of its bones, previously hidden inside its fingers, pierce the skin and extend out, transforming into claws. After danger is past, these claws return to their place inside the fingers and underneath the skin, with the tissues growing back over them once more. Also, in the animal world, there is a real Superman. This is the lizard Phrynosoma douglasii, also known as the pygmy short-horned lizard. Similar to our favorite hero from the planet Krypton, who can shoot lasers out of his eyes, this astonishing lizard can shoot blood out of its eyes up to a distance of 5 meters, or 16.5 feet. In stressful situations, the creature's blood flow to its head is blocked, and its blood pressure suddenly rises sharply. Then the blood vessels around the lizard's eyelids burst, and blood shoots out of them like a pair of water pistols. Of course, these blood bullets won't kill anyone, but its smell is apparently extraordinarily unpleasant for representatives of the cat and dog families, and is, therefore, able to scare them away. Another unusual creature, on the contrary, seems almost ready to suck all of the blood out of its victims, as it very much resembles Count Dracula himself. No, this is not some kind of bat, but an ordinary water deer. Protruding from the sides of this hoofed animal's face are a pair of saber-like fangs or canines reaching up to 8 centimeters or a little over 3 inches in length. These vampire-like fangs work something like pocket knives. They fold back when the animal eats so as not to interfere with the enjoyment of a meal, and then move forward when the beast finds it necessary to fight off a predator or engage in a duel with another male for the heart of a lady. The rest of the time, the deer remains harmless to most of the other inhabitants of the plains and forests, which are its natural habitat. For the role of another superhero, that would be the indestructible and unkillable Deadpool, several interesting candidates pop into mind. There is a jellyfish, which never dies, and also a slug that enjoys life everlasting. But one does not expect to find such a creature among the mammals of our planet. But there is one such beast that defies imagination and believability. Its life is finite, but not in battle. Wounds, which are normally lethal for almost any other animal, for the sloth, are nothing more than a harmless scratch. It's all due to a special bacterium which lives under the fur of this sloth. Moreover, predators avoid these lazy super beasts. Like our movie hero Deadpool, a sloth seems to possess a particular sense of humor. He can put a jaguar into such a strong embrace that the attacker will finally give up and leave after all its useless attempts to attack. And of course, at the same time, what seems like a carefree smile never leaves the face of this happy-looking animal. This certainly cannot be said about the grin of another underwater creature. If Aquaman is a human with fish attributes, then would the contrary be a fish with human attributes? Like, for example, a human mouth and teeth. And this guy isn't so harmless like the vampire deer. At least, so says one Miss Kennedy Smith from Oklahoma. She once caught one of these mutant fish that has huge human-like teeth, which, according to her, tried to bite down on her finger multiple times. And in Papua New Guinea, a huge monster fish even bit off the genitalia of several men. Youch! Whether this is absolutely true or a tall tale is not known for certain, But a fish with teeth like those of humans actually does exist. It's called the pacu and is a close relative of piranhas. Pacu mainly live in the Amazon and can reach a mass of more than 30 kilograms. These fish most often eat plants and nuts, easily crushing them with their powerful teeth. Under the earth, you can find a monster a little fancier than the pacu fish. If you were to chop off Hellboy's invulnerable right arm and give it a pair of deadly teeth, you might get something like one of these, a naked mole rat. These creatures, like Hellboy's right arm, are completely unable to experience pain. They are ideal soldiers who never retreat. The secret of these little superheroes is simple. These rodents don't feel pain due to a mutation of their neurons. But despite their eerie appearance and fearsome abilities, the blind mole rat is actually quite a peaceful little African animal of about only 8 to 10 centimeters or 4 inches in length. The dull, colorless skin of this underground resident is devoid of hair and brings to mind something like just extruded raw sausage. Amazingly, the jaws of this animal are so powerful that these little excavators can and do easily gnaw through thick concrete walls. This organ developed abnormally during the process of evolution due to its unusual underground lifestyle. But if we're looking for the most fearless animals, then this little excavator is no match for another African native, the honey badger. This is a real Batman, which even lions and all the other large predators fear. The honey badgers are small animals, similar in size to regular badgers. But when it comes to fighting, the first thing they attempt to do is gnaw off the genitals of their enemy. Youch! After this, the frightened and disgraced adversary has little interest in trying again to fight against the fury of a honey badger. Even in the case of a honey badger finding itself in the mouth of a predator, this brave animal can rotate inside its own fur as if in a superhero costume and still remain unscathed. But yes, in the movies, Batman actually protects people, whereas the honey badger rather annoys the inhabitants of the African continent with his absurd character. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and press the bell so you don't miss another minute of the most interesting stuff on the internet.